RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. What's happening, everybody? This is Tara Devlin, unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity, and thank you for hanging out. We meet here every Friday evening at the Tarabuster YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/C for channel /Tarabuster around this time, 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want to thank you for your support. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News. The show's also on that channel where Charlie has other independent media voices, and this show is part of his roster. So please support APS Radio News. And when you go over, because Charlie's a good guy. He's one of the good ones, and I wish we had 1 million more of him. And so we stick together, we win. That's how we roll. And Charlie's also really a great supporter of animals, and so am I. So thank you, Charlie, for all you do to make the world a better place. And it does seem like an uphill battle at times, that's for sure. So also, thank you, patrons. Patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Please keep the show going and growing. Become a patron. Okay, I should probably do those plugs in. I don't know. Just weave them throughout the show. Nice to see you, Ed. Ed is in the chat at youtube.com/C for channel /Tarabuster. Where is everybody? Usually people are waiting when I start the show, but I don't know where the fuck everybody is tonight. Are you done already? Has it been enough already? It's only been a few days of this nonsense. It does feel like a lifetime, right? That's how I feel. I'm exhausted already. Isn't it exhausting watching the last days of the American Republic? I mean, not just watching it. We got to do something about it. We can't just sit by and allow this to go to pot without even a fight. But okay, so earlier today, I don't know, I wrote a little article for the Political Voices Network about how I was feeling. Well, I did a video too, but it's really, I guess the video kind of summed it up. My feeling of, I've been processing my feelings about what happened in the election. And that's what I do. I've had a lot of therapy, so when I have feelings, complicated feelings, I sit and I kind of think about, what is, where's it all stemming from? Why do I feel this? Like the first time when Hillary lost in 2016, despite receiving the most votes, I felt sad. A feeling of sadness came over me. And for the most part, when I was processing my feelings, I was thinking, I guess I feel sad because I thought my country was better than this, right? I thought that when a con man, when they saw, like I did, the con man, a documented lifelong con man, come down an escalator proclaiming Mexicans to be rapists and criminals, that they would recoil from it as if from a hot flame, because they, as I've seen, as we know, they would have recognized one of the hallmarks of fascism, one of the telltale signs of a wannabe dictator, and they would have rejected it. But that didn't happen. And this time, after everything we lived through in the first maladministration, and it's the feelings that I have since Election Day. I have been and you guys know because you've been watching the show and you're part of the show, and we get together here on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly basis. We do get together during the week with Robyn Kincaid from headon.live, and and I love those gatherings. I can't do this without you guys, that's for sure. And I live for our community, so thank you. But so you guys know that I've been enraged. Last time I was sad, and there's always anger. See, because anger and depression or sadness, they're two sides of the same coin, really. And as my therapist would say, anger turned inwards is depression. So, but this time I went right past the depression, and I'm kind of hanging on to anger, So, and I guess that's a healthier kind of way to approach this, because it motivates me to, the last time I stayed in bed for 3 days, right? But this time, I'm just so absolutely outraged. I understand that we have an uphill battle in front of us, and it's going to be a long-ass fight, and it's going to be a long-ass 4 years. God knows what I'll look like at the end of it, God help us all. But I feel betrayed by my fellow Americans, and that's why when we've been since Election Day, I've been saying, I will not forgive, I will not forget. And that's really stemming from this feeling of betrayal. And now the con man, the insurrectionist, the convicted felon, sexual assaulter, adjudicated rapist, he set the insurrectionists free this week. And that absolutely, I knew it was coming. And this is what we were talking about before, too, after he was elected. And we were talking about how to prepare ourselves, right? We just have to kind of just accept it. It's coming. So it won't be a surprise when it gets here. And so even though that happened, and I think it did help a little, as far as when I heard that he did it, I'm still enraged by it. It still won't stop the fact that, I will never stop calling these people insurrectionists. They're traitors. Yes, they are. I don't care if a convicted felon con man, pardon them. They're a bunch of traitors. And guess what? History will remember them as such, too. So, and if you missed it, I'll play it now. And when I saw this clip from CNN, Michael Fanone, he sums it up.
Assured, I have been betrayed by my country, and I've been betrayed by those that supported Donald Trump. Whether you voted for him because he promised these pardons or for some other reason, you knew that this was coming. And here we are. Tonight, 6 individuals who assaulted me as I did my job on January 6th, as did hundreds of other law enforcement officers, will now walk free. 6 individuals who have threatened my life.
Yep.
And who have made threats towards my family members, as well as countless other January 6th defendants who have threatened me because they see me as a spokesperson for law enforcement for this event. My family, my children, and myself are less safe today because of Donald Trump and his supporters.
Yep. And I don't even know what to say. I wish I knew Michael Fanone. I wish I could tell him we're in this together. I hope he knows that. Because even though, Traitor Trump won with a very slim margin, as we know, and I want to remind us, and this is the cold comfort of the fact that it doesn't matter if he won, Traitor Trump. They're still in the minority. He still never received a positive approval rating, right? And it's only going to get worse. By this time next week, his approval rating will be even further in the tank, like what happened last time. That's why I'm completely baffled by the fact that he was elected. And the sense of betrayal, it's not just for the Trump voters. It's for the 20 million Democrats that the registered Democrats that voted for Biden in the first term and last time, but stayed home this time, they're equally to blame. And all the other Americans that didn't bother for whatever reason to ever get off their ass, because only 66% of the voting public votes. But it is a very complicated issue, even though I'm angry. And because the other thing is, when you talk to Trump voters, and we've had a few come around here. I don't know if they're Trump voters, like that guy the other night. I hope he comes back. He was tolerable, right? Thomas, wait, hold on. Here's the music. Check out APS Radio News, guys, and become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Be right back. All right, I'm back. So if you scratch the surface, because I'm just processing everything and about what we're up against, because it is a matter of giving credit where credit's due to the Trump voters, because just like Michael Fanone said, whether you voted for him because you wanted him to pardon the January 6th insurrectionists, which that's a minority. It's not a lot. Of course, they're effing, I guess everyone who had someone in jail, except for the guy, the son who sent his father, who dropped a dime on his father, and now his father, he has to get a protective order against his maggot father. So, except that guy. But most of the people, I suppose, I don't know, they want their loved ones home, even though they're who wants a maggot loved home? I mean, a loved one home. How can you love a maggot? I don't know. They're not a very tolerable people in general. But anyway, if you talk to a Trump voter, if you dare, if you can, right? If you can tolerate it for a second, if you hadn't had lunch yet, let's say, and you ask them why they voted for the con man, they'll say something bullshit. Some bullshit will come out of their mouth, like the doctor. I was telling you guys when I went to the doctor, I asked, I don't know, the doctor said, it was my checkup, and the doctor said, how you been feeling? Are you depressed? They ask those questions. Are you anxious, depressed, and all that? And I said, well, I'm not looking forward to the next 4 years, blah, blah, blah. And I made the mistake of assuming he was a normal person because, this is Queens, the world's borough, and he's an immigrant. So, but I made that mistake. And he said that, he's like, oh, you don't want Trump? And I said, no, I'd rather have hot pokers in my eyes. But and then I said, well, why did you vote for him? And he said, well, the crime in New York City. Now, crime, that's a demonstrable falsehood. Crime is down in New York City, and not just, since the con man got reelected. It's lower now in the past 4 years and in the past year than it was during the entire Trump administration. That is a fact. You can look it up. And see, there's the other example of people are propagandized. We are in this misinformation ecosystem, this circle jerk of feedback loop of lies that never stop, that just keep going. And it's somebody like that, this doctor, I bet he's watching Fox News. I bet he's listening to right-wing radio, or who knows, influencers who are funded by the Kremlin. And this is why the Democrats who fall down on the job when they don't say these things, when they don't get out there in front of a camera, because we better believe that the Republicans are in front of a camera and in front of microphones spreading the lies, right? Faster than they could goddamn Traitor Trump can eat a goddamn hot dog or whatever. I don't know. Call for a Diet Coke. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that the Republicans lie all the time. So why is it so hard for the Democrats to tell the truth? I don't know. And just point out the fact that half the country is listening to a propaganda network that was adjudicated the largest fine in American history for lying to its viewers. What the F is wrong with that? And delegitimize them that way, because we all know, Traitor Trump is a liar. It's so numbingly maddening to listen to the fire hose of lies when he was in Davos giving a speech to these poor bastards that had to sit there and listen to him. And all I kept thinking was, why? What did we do as a species to deserve this? There's more of us than there are of him, and why can't we stop this fucking parasite? Right? Why can't we stop him? Is hate that strong? Is it that intoxicating for these people? But that's what it's about. And I gotta tell you, too, there's so many things. Oh my God. It just, listening to Michael Fanone, talk about betrayal. Yeah. The Republican Party is not a party of law and order. Give me a break. That's why another reason why I'm so sick of them. For years, they've dragged us all through their manias about law and order. Or what about the children? Think about everything's the children. They don't give a shit about the children. Look what they did. They just unleashed domestic terrorists into this country. And, please, the poor children. And what about climate change? What about this? Everywhere we look, they're setting us up for failure. But it's because, why? They want to steal. It is because of everything I've been saying for years, and thank you for supporting the show, and you guys have been here for the long haul, that it's all about dragging America back to the Dark Ages. It's about destroying this democracy. They never liked democracy. Conservatism for forever, okay? Since the founders rebelled against the crown, since they declared their independence, the tension in society, in Western civilization, has always been between the conservative and the more progressive factions, right? And the entire liberal age of enlightenment was a progressive initiative. It was a bunch of woke-ass people sitting around saying they didn't need a king in an aristocracy, and couldn't we do better than this? So, but ever since the founders rebelled against the crown, the conservatives have tried to drag us back to hierarchy. That's because, we've never fully actualized the promises in our highfalutin founding documents, that's for sure. And every time we took a step forward, the Republicans came along, or the conservatives, I should say, came along kicking and screaming, and now they are in an active assault against democracy, because it's not about just rolling back the 20th century. They're rolling us back to the Dark Ages. And some people will say, oh, that's just hyperbolic. No, it's not. Look at their policies. What are they talking about? Everything that they're for is about weakening the federal government, weakening the government itself, tearing us apart, and turning the country into the system that the founders fought a revolution to escape. Undermining schools, undermining the civil service, undermining, the wheels that make democracy function. They don't, everything, the bureaucracy, all of the systems that keep, and the glue that bind us together, that are our social safety nets, the foundations of our modern society are all under assault. And goddamn you for voting for him. You gave us this, and I will not forgive, and I will not forget. Hold on, we'll be right back. This is Tara Devlin. All right, so, think about Michael Fanone, and Well, Dr. Fauci apparently had to hire security because of these maggots are on the loose now. And whenever a Republican talks about that they back the blue, they're for law and order, we should immediately break out in laughter, because Republicans don't like they don't like the police. They don't support the police. They support the police state. That's a big difference. And here's another thing that Michael Fanone said that resonated with me.
Rest assured, I have been betrayed by my country.
Yep.
And I've been betrayed by those that supported Donald Trump.
We've all been betrayed.
This is who.
But here's what he said that really stuck with me.
This is who we are as a nation. This is what we have become, and it has been further exacerbated by Donald Trump.
That's right.
As I've said many times before, we are self-centered, we are violent, and we are indifferent to the suffering of our neighbors.
That's right. And isn't that heartbreaking? And think about everything that we've been through since that monster came down the escalator. Even coming down the escalator declaring Mexicans rapists is divisive. This is a nation of immigrants, you prick. But that's another thing Republicans hate. We know what's going on right now. They're conducting these raids all over the country. And, because it's red meat. I guess the Nazis are all masturbating. They're pleased that he's, I guess, promises kept, right? And but thinking of the Trump voter, when you talk to Trump voters, or even like for example, these farmers that use migrant workers on their farms, and they're all complaining, oh no, well, he's not really going to do that, is he? They all think the leopards are not going to eat their face. But here's the thing, if they're going to raid farms and get rid of migrant workers, well, I don't understand why the Republicans don't pass laws that simply fine the employers if they want to get rid of all the migrant workers, because they're only coming here because there are jobs, right? Take the help wanted sign off the farm and maybe they won't come here. But they wouldn't find the bosses or those who are making money off of their backs, like the Uline, like those Uline assholes, the Uline donors to Trump's campaign. The scam is right there in front of our faces, which really irritates me. And besides everything else about the Trump supporters, that don't you see the scam being played out right in front of you? I mean, you're the ones who saw a sex trafficking pedophile ring in a pizzeria basement that didn't have a basement, right? Or a pizzeria that didn't have a basement. And but you don't see the conspiracies right in front of your face. You are the assholes who cheer who cheer Elon Musk, this sociopath, this filthy Nazi, who couldn't give a shit about you, who is the most disgusting parasite on the entire planet, and they all need to be stopped. So, legally and peacefully. Yeah, it's really repugnant, the times we live in. And it's only the first week. That's what I keep saying. This is only 1 week, guys. How are we going to last 4 years with these lies? The lies. It's such an embarrassment. But the corporate media, it's another case in point. They're not up to the task. Just like I feel that it's really concerning the Democrats. Are they up for the task? We got to push these assholes, because they're the only ones we got, right? Go to war with the army you got, not the army you want. But they're it, and it's really absolutely, it's shockingly, it's appalling, really. But wait a second, hold on. I'm trying to find my links over here. And there's so much. Where do I even begin? My God. Yeah, I mean, what can I say about him? These January 6 traitors, but except exactly what Michael Fanone said. It's a betrayal. But it's not just a betrayal of Mr. Fanone and his fellow officers. It's a betrayal of the very system the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us. But the Republican betrayals have been long coming, and they won't stop. These are the same Republicans, as we know, immediately after the attack, were calling it a tourist visit. They've been gaslighting us since that day. And that's another hallmark of authoritarianism, which is another reason why it shouldn't be tolerated. We should not allow them to rewrite history, and they won't rewrite history, because in the future history is not going to look back and say, oh, it was a peaceful tourist visit and blah blah blah, that just Antifa got involved and tricked them. That's not what's going to happen. Everyone's going to know who's at fault, and they will be as equally appalled as we are now. And they'll look back, they'll see shows like this, and they'll know that we were trying, that we weren't all maggots. But they're going to see those maggots too, I'll tell you that. That's what's so shocking, because, I think about times in history, like, for example, the trial of Anne Boleyn, right? Henry VIII's second wife. She was put on trial for what? Not because she couldn't bear him a son. That's not why. They put her on trial for adultery, for sleeping with 100 men, and including her brother. So, but at the time, that's the bullshit they were putting out there. Do you think people actually believed it? I'm sure no one did. Maybe they had to say that they believed it to keep their heads, but that's why I find it almost, it's fascinating that these maggots believe. Do they actually believe the lies of the con man? They really believe that that it's lawfare against him when he's taken to court for sexually assaulting someone, and that a jury of his peers adjudicate when they see the evidence, a grand jury, a judge, and the whole process of our legal system finds him guilty, and then he gets to appeal, and it seems to me that shit's kind of working out in his favor, but everyone's picking on him. Everyone's rigged against him. And God, my God, I wish that were true. If everything was rigged against him, do you think we'd be in this boat? The deep state, the big bad government, oh, government's after you, government, wants to track you, government wants to control you. But we can't control this one thin-skinned, petty tyrant. We can't. We just forgot to steal it last time, right? We forgot to steal. We forgot to rig it last time, and lawfare against all of these maggots who committed crimes against the United States. Like, who's that guy? Peter Navarro, who committed treason against the country. He goes to jail for 3 months. If he was a political prisoner, he'd still fucking be in jail, right? He wouldn't have made it out of jail. He wouldn't have had a release date. So, these whiny little bitches, and that's why, oh my God, it's just out of control. And yes, and Jim on the chat mentions Elon Musk First, lots of firsts in this country. First convicted felon, first convicted rapist, first Nazi salute at an inauguration. Shame on them, right? We're number one. Yeah, that Nazi salute. That's another thing that really is absolutely appalling, because the corporate media. I don't know if you saw, I didn't grab any clips, but you might have seen them after this happened. I mean, they're all just giving him a pass. Some are saying it was, we don't believe our lying eyes, that he's got autism. What the hell does autism have to do with being a Nazi? Doing a Nazi, so he's got autism, so it's just an awkward hand gesture. I mean, I guess like that awkward gesture Traitor Trump did on the mic that time, right? He had a pretty awkward. I was trying to find it. I was hitting the wrong button there. Wait. Let's see. Yeah, that awkward gesture Trump had. Come on, work with me, Ecam. We're doing a show, Ecam. Come on, like this. Oh, he must be autistic. It's just an awkward hand gesture and mouth gesture. What a pig. That's, what a pig. Oh, God, you monsters. You fucking voted for that. How dare you? How disgusting are you? Shame on you. Shame on you. That's what you voted for. Every single one of you. And all you Democrats who stayed home, all you 20 million assholes who sat on your effing asses. Why? Are you that dumb? Oh, you showed that Genocide Joe. Oh, you didn't like the price of eggs, huh? Well, look at the fucking price of eggs now, bub. They're like $14 a damn carton because of the bird flu. What do you think Trump's going to do about that, you piece of dirt? Trump supporters? Nothing, morons, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's not a leader. He doesn't know anything. He's a moron. He's a criminal. That's why he's like Mr. Magoo, tripping over backwards and forwards into crime after crime. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Working within the bounds of decency and the Constitution, that is above his pay grade, honey. He's not built for that. He needs it quick and fast and now. And this is what it's about. That's why he pardoned all of the insurrectionists. The story goes that they were, of course, Pam Bondi and J.D. Vance all got together and, well, not got together. Well, they were saying that, of course we won't pardon the scumbags who beat cops with cattle prods, zip ties, and bear spray, or who bit their fingers off or broke their ribs and poked one of their eyes out, and one lost a finger, the tip of the finger. Another one, of course, Brian Sicknick, lost his life mere hours after being assaulted again and again and again with chemical irritants. But, okay, it's just beyond reason how anyone would vote for these assholes. But so they were going to go through all of the of the cases, a case-by-case basis. And I guess little baby Hitler was, he wanted to get on the phone with Hannity and have his good night milk and get Hannity to read him a bedtime story. So he wasn't going to sit around and do the job of presidenting, because they were going to go through all the cases. And then he waved his tiny Hitler-like hand and said, oh, booga, 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 they're all pardoned. And that's what Trump is. That's who he is. He is lazy. He is a lazy bastard who doesn't want to work. That's why his fucking stupid Trump organization was a bankrupt shell that had to be propped up by Mark Burnett and who made him, who built a boardroom for him, who goddamn got the carpets cleaned and shit. They walked in when they first hired him or whatever, and they were figuring out what to do with their stupid show, The Apprentice, and they were appalled at the state of the offices. They were filthy and dirty and small and cluttered with shit, and nobody cleaned it. And that's all. And what he did, he just sat there all day looking at his trinkets and swatches, paying top dollar for everything because he doesn't know how to do business. He's just a dumbass who was handed a trust fund, and then he bankrupted it 6 times. You fucking morons. And then that's why I'm blown. My mind is being blown on a daily basis. That when I consider that anybody voted for that again, that wasn't enough for the Democrats who sat home to get off their effing asses and vote, because we would not be in this boat if they did, because the con men received fewer votes than he did the last time. If not for those Democrats, we wouldn't be here. Those registered Democrats. I mean, shame on you. Maybe some of them were sick. Yeah, you could say. Not 20 million. Maybe sick in the head. But now they're going to make us... Now we're all sick. They have set us up for failure here. If we come out on the other side of this with the ability to rebuild the country as a constitutionally limited democratic republic, we will be very lucky. That's for sure. Because they are making us an authoritarian shithole. I don't understand it. So if you voted for him, you should be embarrassed. And guess what? One day you will be. I'm telling you. Mark my words. One day soon. I've said this for years. Those who supported Trump will only speak of it in shamed whispers. That day is coming. The whole world sees it. What's wrong with you, maggots? What's wrong with you? I mean, are you that racist? Are you that small? Are you that easily played? Like our friend who came the other day, Thomas, who was in the chat. He was talking about, I can't pay my rent. My rent is very high and I struggle. I can't help anybody. Why should I help people coming into the country? And this is what you hear. But yes, we're all struggling. But put your anger where it belongs. Give credit where credit is due. It's not the migrants or the immigrants that are making the cost of living high. It's the rich. It's the politicians. It's those who write the laws, who rigged the game in their favor, who turned this country, who took the top marginal tax rate of 75% and then 90% and put it down below 50% and lower and lower. Now it's at 35. Maybe it went up to 42, and now Traitor Trump wants to put it down to 15. These fuckers, because it's not enough. Being a trillionaire is not enough for them. See, this has got to stop. But where is that guy getting his information from? He's getting it from propaganda, from media, who don't do the job, of informing the American people. Why? You think they're going to tell, like, the billionaires who own the corporate media, or the millionaires who get paid by the billionaires to tell the working class that their problems are because of somebody lower on the ladder? You think they're going to tell them that the tax code is unfair and they should point their anger at the goddamn CEO making 400, 500 times the lowest paid worker, when just a mere 50 years ago it was 25 to 1, now it's 400, 500 to 1. It's just, where did we lose that common knowledge that we can have concentrated wealth in the hands of a few, or we can have democracy, but we can't have both. Where did that get lost? It went down the memory hole. You know, I guess they didn't do a poll on it. They polled people and they said, I don't like socialism. Because never explaining to them what socialism is. Oh, they sure like Social Security. They sure like Medicare. And anything, because anything the American, or any politician that's trying to work for the American people, that they try to pass policies or promote policies that promote the general welfare over the welfare of a couple of fuckers at the top, that will never, and make no mistake, these people will have more money than they will ever spend if they tried. But that's sacrosanct. We can't touch them, right? We can't go near their zillion-dollar bank accounts, even though take a couple of zeros off the end and we can end homelessness, hunger. Something is very wrong here. And if you think the problem is because a migrant wants a chance, then you better look at who you're getting your information from. It's absolutely unforgivable what we are up against. What they did to us. You know, it's like I feel like somebody deliberately. I don't know. I'm trying to think about this here. Let's see. It feels like we have been. It's like Michael Fanone. You know, somebody said he's out there saying, look, these assholes want to kill my family. And the American people say, fuck it. So what? That's just unacceptable. Right? And then, these assholes stormed the Capitol, tried to stop the peaceful transfer of power based on a lie. And the American voter said, so what? And that's why the anger is there, because then the other part is, like when Carter passed away, and I think about other people that have tried, like Bernie Sanders. The American people don't deserve a decent lead, or Joe Biden, who tried. The American people don't deserve someone like a Jimmy Carter. Look what we did. Look what they did to him. They turned they just bash and bash and bash and bash. Even though, Traitor Trump, not Traitor Trump, Traitor fucking Ronald Reagan at the time was literally committing treason, negotiating behind the back of the sitting president with our enemies to keep the hostages. Just hold on to them, because it's good for my political campaign to keep our fellow Americans in bondage while the president was trying to get them out. What a scumbag that fucking Reagan was. Just like Nixon. Treason is just a political tactic to conservatives. Same thing. Nixon negotiated behind the back of the sitting president. And Johnson, and we have the tapes. This is the other thing where the corporate media failed. Johnson, it was released. When the hell was this? Let's see. Not too long ago. Johnson on tape talking to Everett Dirksen. Johnson, Everett Dirksen. And they have the audio and him telling Dirksen, who was the leader of the Republicans, to tell Nixon to knock it off, to stop talking to who was he negotiating with? Nixon. It's all coming back to me. Nixon was talking to the Vietnamese to keep the war going while they were trying to negotiate a peace deal, and Nixon was going back channel and talking to the enemies of America that were at war with America while he's on the phone with whoever he was talking to, negotiating, telling them to keep going, keep killing American soldiers, how many Americans ended up coming home in body bags because of Nixon, who kept the war going because it would be good for his campaign. And then he said he had a secret plan to end the war, right? But we had it on tape. It came out not too long ago. And it didn't even make the news, where Johnson on tape telling Everett Dirksen to tell Nixon that they had him on tape, that the CIA had recorded him on the phone with America's enemies. And Johnson said to Dirksen, I don't want to get this into the campaign. This is treason. And Dirksen says, I know. Why didn't you want to get it into the campaign? I wish he did. I don't want to get this into the campaign that the fucking guy's a traitor. Shouldn't the American people have that little ditty? But, okay, and then it comes out, and what happens? Did you even hear that on the corporate media at all? It seems like some kind of conspiracy theory, right? When I'm talking about it, something like, I made up out of my, like I was on OAN or something. Right? The tapes. I used to have a recording of it. But no, it's an actual thing. Johnson, Everett Dirksen had an interaction regarding Nixon's actions during the 1968 presidential campaign. Johnson contacted Dirksen, the Republican Senate leader, to express his concern that Nixon's campaign was interfering with the Vietnamese peace negotiations. Now, what the fuck is that? That is treason. A private citizen? Well, he's a senator. But how dare he? Well, no, was he a senator? Yeah, Richard Nixon. Wait, hold on. Let me get this right. Was he just a candidate? I'm getting it all. I wasn't born. I was just about to be born there. He was he was just a candidate. Huh. Scumbag. Scum diddy dum. Oh, yeah? Okay. Errol on the chat says, listen to Stevie Wonder's 1974 hit, You Haven't Done Nothing. It's a diss towards Richard Nixon after when he resigned. Right. Well, that's when presidents would resign, when they had some standards, some symbol. I mean, think about what a crook Nixon was, and he resigned. I mean, and the Republicans said, hey, that's enough. Enough is enough. You're going to be impeached and you're going to be convicted, or you resign. Could you imagine? And then this scumbag, they let skate, and now we're going to, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll keep an eye on it with this effing Pete Hegseth shit, voting for this absolutely unqualified asshole who shouldn't be anywhere near anything that has to do with anybody. He should be, in a rehab, if anything, if we're just trying to be generous. But, okay, yeah, where's this Elon Musk Nazi? I have the videos. Not that I'm sure you've seen it. It's so repugnant. Look at that fuck. Look, he's almost orgasmic. He really wanted to get that out there. Like, You scumbag. And what a weak ass bitch. Here's another example, why billionaires shouldn't exist. And then what did the corporate media say? Let's see. Corporate media excuses Nazi Musk Nazi salute. And where's Trump? Is he distancing himself from this Nazi salute, or from the guy who gave the Nazi salute? Of course not. He needs the money. That's all that matters in America. Greed is the only American value. And like Officer Fanone detailed in his, disheartening words, but absolutely true, that this is who we are now. This is who we are. The American people have been thoroughly divided. And actually, now that I'm thinking about this, so you guys know, sometimes I get into little online spats with people. I was on, there's an app, I've mentioned this before, the app Nextdoor. I belong to it, mostly for animal rescue and stuff, because that's an app where it's your neighbors. You gotta join and prove where you live, and there's standards there. It's not, you gotta be nice and polite to people, and so I try, but you can't. And I generally don't engage in politics unless somebody says something, and you know me, I just can't leave it in the floor like a turd, stinking up the joint, unchallenged. And somebody posted something in the community chat because when Trump is signing all these anti-trans executive orders going after trans people, this affects people. So somebody posted this meme. Wait, come on. How come there it is. Wait a second. Here we go. Right? Trans Lifeline. The Trevor Project. LGBT Crisis Hotline. Right? What's so fucking wrong with that? We've received terrible news these past few days. Stay safe and stay strong. You're not alone. So, and then they write, I guess, I'm not arguing on this post. If you want to debate, go somewhere else. Because, they're not talking to me, but maybe they are. Who knows? But because these guys here, how have you been negatively affected? There are all these straight people, men. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. This is Tara Devlin. I don't know. Maybe I got deleted here. And these guys were posting, they've been negatively, how have you been negatively affected? And the fact is, they're not asking because of sincerity. They're just trolling. And no matter what, so this person responds, trans women sent to male prisons are more likely to be assaulted. Trans people are more likely to be assaulted if they enter a bathroom. Going on, gay partners who aren't married aren't allowed to visit each other. And answering this person's question. But they get back to, gee, you still haven't answered my question. How are you being affected? So, and this is who they are. And I went off on it, but let's see, where did they delete my question? My response? No, I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe they did. She could have. It was a good one because people are like, thank you for saying, because I was saying, how are you being negatively affected? I said, I'm of the opinion that if living in a diverse society, if there's a political party targeting less than 1% of the population, we are all negatively affected, whether we're a member of that community or not. It sickens the entire society. And therefore, we have a patriotic imperative to stand up against it and not tolerate it. So, but doesn't matter. This person's like, well, you still haven't answered my question. So you see what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter. They will never see the light unless something affects them directly. They are brick walls. So it's really a waste of time. And even as I was answering them, or trying to, I was saying, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. This is a waste of time. But I also didn't want to just leave that hanging out there, because the guy was like, oh, you're burning me in effigy now. And I wrote back, burning you in effigy? You're not that important. I'm sorry. But also, the guy was going on about this old hateful canard about how, his rights are being infringed upon by, less than 1% of the population existing. And that's what they always said about gay people. Oh, you're infringing on my rights by existing, by just being yourself and not being in the closet, or, just keep it inside. Keep it, and you're infringing on me by me having to move over and give you a seat and make room for you at the table, let's say. So it's basically, they're a lost cause. And so but whatever, putting it all aside, this is the whole ball of wax, what we're dealing with these Trump voters, is there's no redeeming value anywhere. And if I'm wrong, please correct me in the chat, because I'd like to see a different perspective if I'm wrong, because really there's no actual good reason for anyone to have voted for Traitor Trump. Am I wrong? What? Because everything he promised, everything he went on about in the campaign, all of his, everything was a lie. Everything is bullshit. From we're in a shitty economy to the jobs suck and everything sucks and Trump and Biden is, it's just everything. Trans people are, like Nancy Mace says, attacking women in bathrooms. All of it is a lie. Kids are going to school and coming home, and you send Johnny to school and Janie comes home, and it's a lie. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. It's a lie. It's all a lie. So tell me, even my doctor, a smart man, oh, the crime. That's a lie. It's propaganda. Propaganda kills. And this country, and it's since it really is that everywhere. This is why I've been screaming for however long into this microphone, that everything that the Republicans attack, everything that's in their sights are the very pillars of democracy, are the very pillars of a decent, modern, successful nation. Everything that they hate is everything that makes this country great. And I didn't mean to rhyme, but sometimes it happens. Yes, and racist. They're racists. It's all about division. Just like, and that's why, when I think about what Michael Fanone said with the betrayal, Traitor Trump, we saw him kill. He sent 1 million Americans to their cold early graves because of his ineptitude. And, okay, not 1 million. Over 1 million Americans died, but as the research shows, 500,000 of those would not have died if we had stayed on par with the rest of the world as far as COVID response. He botched it, and he took every opportunity to divide. That's what he did. So instead of having the country come together using this crisis as a means to unify the country as a nation and a community of neighbors who will say, we'll get through this together. We're in this together. And he divided us. Instead, we got TikTok videos of maggots having meltdowns on airplanes, having to wear masks, having to wear a fucking piece of cloth on their face, screaming about their freedom, and screaming in people's faces, and others spitting on people, right? That's what they do. And guess what? It's only going to get worse. It will be worse these next 4 years. Like, forget any kind of LGBT Pride Month display in any store. Forget it. It's all about dividing the country. You see, we can't be unified. Everybody in their place, bub. White men at the top. That's why Traitor Trump, he signs this executive order putting our fellow Americans on leave, trying to fire them. And any diversity in the federal government, and any diversity, you know, part of part of an organization that, I guess, is it who gets federal contracts too, that have any diversity programs? Well, he can do that, but just for now, it's all the people that he controls directly. If you have any relation to diversity and inclusion, you're on leave starting now, and he wants the fellow employees to inform on anyone that might dare teach diversity. It's absolutely effing batshit crazy, but it's fascism. Project 2025. And yeah, it's beyond repugnant. And people, you know, that's why I'm saying, be ashamed, Trump voters. You brought this on us. We need to give credit where credit's due. And that's the other thing is, on the corporate media, I've been hearing this. I don't know about you, but they go on about how, oh well, you know, we got to come together, and we should respect each other. Yeah, sure, I'll respect somebody if somebody votes for somebody sincerely. They have sincere political differences. They don't like regulation, or they don't like the rich having to pay any taxes at all. You know, okay, whatever. But how can you have respect for somebody who votes based on absolute bullshit? They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, right? They're genders. That's the other thing. When I went to one of these protests when Traitor Trump was being arraigned, when he was indicted in New York City, and these monsters, they were all yelling out about genders. You know, this is like they're fucking obsessed now. And when have they, you know, and well, this is another example of how easily manipulated, and it's all about propaganda. Because when did you hear this shit? You know, 10 years ago, they were going on about gays, gay marriage, gays. We never heard about trans people. Now, all of a sudden, trans people, they're in the barrel because they're not getting the same bang for their buck going after regular old gays, right? So now they're just, goddamn obsessed about pee-pees. Everybody's pee-pee. Well, the less than 1% of the population. And, I mean, shut up. Mind your own business. Is that too hard, monsters? Is that too hard for you? Worry about your own pee-pee. It's none of your business what people feel or what they want, you know. I mean, it's not your business to stick your fucking nose, your ignorant nose, into somebody's life and tell them what they should be, and who they are. And guess what? Trans people exist, whether your monster, your convicted felon, insurrection-stoking goddamn traitor signs an executive order or not. He's not a king. You know, we don't have royal decrees here. But they're working on it. And I'm sure you saw that they've already introduced a bill. This, you know what was coming. One of these maggot politicians introduced a bill to let Traitor Trump run for a third term. And that would be another constitutional amendment. But they already think that Traitor Trump can write an executive order that overturns a constitutional amendment. So House Republican Andy Ogles from Tennessee introduced a resolution to amend the U.S. Constitution to allow effing so-called President Donald Trump, the convicted felon, to serve a third term. This proposed amendment would modify the 22nd Amendment, which currently limits the president to 2 terms. And you know why we even have that? That's because before FDR was even in the ground, the Republicans got to work with a constitutional amendment because they were afraid that, shit, look at how far these American people, this working class became the middle class, and we can't have this again in our long plan to roll back the American Revolution and drag us back to the dark ages. We're going to have to limit that. And as soon as before FDR was even in the ground too, you know, they were looking for somebody. They were looking for their FDR. You realize that, and they found it in Reagan. They decided Reagan was their FDR, and even though we can trace the decline of the American middle class right to Reagan's doorstep. You know, it doesn't happen overnight, but they put the building blocks in place, like the lowering the tax rate below 50% for the rich, the top marginal tax rate, and then lower and lower and lower, attacking public education, making people have to pay for higher education. All of that used to be free. You know, you used to be able to get an education without becoming an indentured servant to the banks, because the American people understood that it was part of the pillars of democracy, that we were investing in each other. But everything that the Republicans do, as you know, as you could see, and if I'm wrong, please let me know, it's all to destroy democracy and to entrench an oligarchy. And they've been very successful at it, probably because, well, you know, it's not all their fault. It is Bill Clinton's fault, too, I have to say, because of the Telecommunications Act of '96. That's why we're here. We would not be here without him signing the deregulation of the media and allowing people like Murdoch to own a newspaper and a radio and a TV station in the same market. I mean, that used to be against the law. That used to be against democracy. People understood the danger of concentrated wealth, that organized money was just as dangerous as organized mob. And how dangerous it was that we, you know, to have millionaires at the time, owning all the platforms of communication. And that now, I guess, we're all living in the whirlwind of it. Like Mark Zuckerberg, I'm sure, I don't know if you saw, but Zuckybuck, he's a traitor, of course. You should check your Instagram. If you have Instagram and you have Facebook, check it out if you haven't already. See if you're following Donald Trump. I guarantee you are, because Facebook and Instagram automatically made everybody follow Donald Trump, even though when he was asked about it, Zuckerberg insists that that's not true. And I was like, all right, well, let me check. I never followed Trump. Why would I? I don't follow him the same way I don't drink out of the toilet. Why would I? I don't poison my mind, my soul. I have enough of him. But of course, when I went on my Facebook, I searched Trump. I went on my Instagram, searched Trump. There he was. I was following him. And of course, I unfollowed him. But, you know, what the fuck is that? Could you imagine? Imagine the outrage of every maggot, right? Of every traitorous maggot in this country if Zuckerberg made everybody follow Harris, right? Or Biden or Obama. Imagine. But it doesn't even get a blip on the radar. And then what is so outrageous is that Meta says it didn't force users to follow this effing con man on Facebook and Insta because there's no truth anymore. Meta says it's denying claims circulating on social media that it forced Facebook and Instagram users to follow Traitor Trump's official accounts. It's fucking not true. It's clearly and demonstrably not true. What did I follow him in another life where I'm a maggot? Is there some alternate universe? There's the Bizarro Tara that's a moron. Unlike this incredible version that is, you know, I don't know. It's absolutely head sex on the did he get confirmed? Oh my God. All right, let it happen. Let it happen. Yes, head sec. What a piece of shit. JD Vance has broken the tie. Good. The quicker we fucking hit bottom, the better. Yep. I'm glad. I feel bad for anybody in the service. I really do. I really, really do. But, you know, we knew it was coming. And it's not going to be good. They are all inept. They're all traitors. They all suck. I mean, he has zero qualifications. He's an embarrassment. Every other position he held, he was forced to leave because he's a drunk and he mismanaged funds. I mean, it's just going to be an absolute shit show. And it's going to be, you know, exactly what the maggots wanted. Congratulations, maggots. Oh, trans people are going to be, you know, fucking shit on. So that's all that makes you happy, I guess, right? They're going to go after trans people. Trans people are going to be discharged. That's why they're happy. So fucking disgusting, aren't they? I don't want to hear it. They're the party of law and order. They're the party of the military. Bullshit. I was in the military. Not everybody's a fucking moron in there, but there are a bunch of them. That's for sure. But it's a reflection of the country. But yeah, a lot of stupids in there. Not all. You know, most people are there because they need money. And I mean, really, when I was there, it was kind of shocking, to tell you the truth, because coming from New York and then going to places like, you know, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and it was kind of shocking being around people that clearly didn't get out much. You know, they didn't read papers or, you know, they just didn't, they were, whatever. They were stuck in their hovels, I guess. I don't know. But whatever. It's okay. It's fine. Yes, Trump is in California. Oh, hi. Oh, here comes Tara Jr. You want to come up, asshole? He's kind of annoying me. Come on. Get up here. You want to come up? You got to help me. You got to meet me halfway. All right. Do not yell. All right. Be good. Just sit here. Just sit. Just sit and quiet. Quiet, producer. Quiet. That's incredible. So Joni Ernst changed her mind. She's such a dumb bitch. Well, hey. Hey, whatever. I guess I always got. I can always go and flee to Ireland, which just might happen. I don't know. Or JD's house. JD, you got enough room for all of us there? This is incredible. This is a fucking guy that's going to be part of the chain of nuclear command. All right? And he's just it's just going to get worse. Let's see. He's an abuser. His own mother says he's a serial abuser of women. He's a rapist. He's a drunk who can't help but jump on the tables and get up on the fucking stage with strippers. It's incredible. These are such damaged people. And what was his qualification when they were, licking his ass? Back in the old days, there used to be some kind of standards. The Republicans would pretend to, ask questions that were serious. This time, how many push-ups can you do? I did four sets of 44. Or no, what am I saying? 4 sets of 47, he said. You know why? Yeah. Because 47, Donald Trump. Yeah, I mean, what a fucking beta bitch. Donald Trump, the thin-skinned, the most fragile little bitch going. And I'm sure you saw that bishop, Donald Trump calls the so-called bishop, who he went to church, and the bishop spoke about the teachings of Jesus, asked him to be kind to the stranger, because we were strangers at one time too, right? To be merciful, to be good to each other, to unify the nation. And what did Trump say? I need an apology. I need an apology. Because I guess she should have went on about the Prosperity Bible, right? For $19.99, you can buy this piece of history right here. Here's the seat that Donald Trump's his God-favored ass sat on in the pew. And then he knelt for all of his spiritual advisors, like that woman, the one who strikes and strikes and strikes for victory, the one who says, whatever. Just think yourself rich. Oh my God. But he was all upset. He said that they asked him, I'm trying to find the video here. What did you think about the sermon? Dear leader, what did you think? It was boring. Boring? You're boring. Yes, Paula White. Thank you, guys. Paula White. Strike and strike. You know what my father always said? Only boring people get bored, right? I'm bored. Well, only boring people get bored. That's so true. I didn't know what that meant when I was young. And I'm like, what does that mean? It's because you're a boring motherfucker. How could you be bored in this big, beautiful world? There's so much going on. Read a book. Take a walk. Learn something. Especially now. There's no excuse. You go on the internet. Don't fall down a Q hole, assholes. Don't just jerk off to Traitor Trump's microphone video. Learn something. Read the classics. Find something, you're interested in. Learn the guitar. Learn how to, crochet. Do something. Only boring. It's so boring to hear about mercy and goodness and unity and being kind to people. What a boring bitch. So-called bishop. I deserve an apology, the traitor says. What a whiny bitch. You know who deserves an apology? We do. The entire American populace and the world. We do. We all deserve an apology, maggots. Everyone who voted, how many fuckers voted for him altogether? Let's see. How many voted for? It's like 70-something million, right? We deserve an apology. I need 77,284,118 apologies. Thank you very much. God. This country is so fucked. You know, really. And when they say that's 49.8% of the vote, that's, let's not forget that only 66% of the voting populace voted. So, and this is a country of 320, or is it 30 now? Million people. Oh my God, excuse me, people. So let's see, how many people? Oh, and oh God, I can't. There's so many things to talk about. It never stops. And, oh God. It's just incredible. One of the things, this fucking piece of shit. Which piece of shit, Tara? You know, the chief one. The dear leader. Yeah, 334 million Americans as of 2023. But anyway, okay, yeah, okay, great. Oh, these poor bastards who are in the military now. I feel so bad for them. Because every time you're in a barracks or whatever, or any installation, there has to be pictures of the chain of command. Ugh, and then you gotta have that fucking con man and that effing closet case, and then this fucking drunk, this untreated alcoholic, and it's, oh God, it's worse. It gets worse. So, okay, what time is it? Holy shite. Guys, we're almost, I can't start this new thing because the Progressive Voices audience is going to be bouncing in a minute. But if you are on Progressive Voices, what I want to talk about next, so you should come over to youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster, and I will be discussing how Traitor Trump is tearing this country apart at the seams as a tactic and a deliberate means of installing the oligarchy. And I got the receipts, including his crypto scam, and we got some more, the other scams. There's a lot of scams. It's the era of scams. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out. This is Tara Devlin. Check out apsradionews.com. And remember, we will win. Thank you, patrons. Patreon.com/Tara Devlin. We're on the right side of history, that's for sure. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. My name is Tara Devlin. I will see you soon. You know what I feel like listening to right now? Right? Don't you just want to bounce to the beat here? Is it done? It is done. For I hear victory, 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 victory. All right, enough of that. Victory, victory, victory. Okay, let's see. Victory, 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 victory. Victory, victory. Yes, right, Josie on the chat. Don't worry, Pete Hexec will try to stop drinking now. Yes, because that's how it works, right? I won't touch a drop. Right. Good luck. Good fucking luck. Well, this is what, we're dealing with a lot of very sick people. They're all fucked up in some form. And not that I don't, I'm fucking like the pinnacle of everything, but, this is the difference. We know we got fucking problems, right? We know. Well, I'll stick to myself here. I talk about it. I'm in recovery. I get help. I go to a place of what do you call it? A community of recovering people. Let's put it that way. What? Who? R.I.P. Oh, R.I.P. Falco. People on the chat are talking. Sorry to confuse everything, but yeah, no, we get help. We know when we're fucked up. We get help. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like Hunter Biden had a drug problem, has a drug. We all, it's a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of a spiritual condition, right? And he admitted it and went and got help, and he stays sober one day at a time, and his father is proud of him, and a lot of Americans can relate to that. Whereas then you got Donald Trump Jr., who can't even stay sober through a podcast. I mean, when you can't pull it together to do your podcast, your afternoon podcast, you got a problem. He's clearly effed up. We've played the clips. And he will never get help because he's a coward, like the rest of them. Because he doesn't have the freedom to go to his sociopath daddy and say, I need help. I have a drug problem. He would be disowned. He would, because that's the nature of sociopathy and narcissism, malignant narcissism. Trump is definitely a narcissist. That you don't exist as your own person. He doesn't love them. He doesn't love his children. They are appendages of him, like his trophy wife. That's why he could never have a wife that aged, that made the mistake of waking up every morning next to him. He had to trade up because he can't let anybody, because that's a reflection on him. His trophy wife means that he's, a really good guy. He's a real alpha baboon. And deep down inside, he knows he's not. I mean, really, it is so clear for anyone who has a clue what we're up against. So that's why it's absolutely inexcusable. And so, congratulations, Trump voters. You got a drunk as the Secretary of Defense. Aren't you proud? Aren't you proud that he's a rapist? I mean, they couldn't find somebody who's not a rapist, though, which is weird. But he can do 47 push-ups, 5 sets of 47. Absolutely. His own mother. Anonymous smears from your mother? It's your mother, honey. Your mother said you're a sexual predator. Your mother. Yeah, he's raped somebody at a hotel. And then he says it was a consensual encounter. Well, I don't know about you, but I've never heard of a woman getting a rape kit done after a consensual encounter. Because that's what you want to do, right? Oh, I just had this wonderful sexual encounter with such a wonderful man, a married man who, of course, if you're in the military, you know that adultery is a chargeable offense in the Uniform Code of Military Justice, but different rules for these DEI hires, because that's all they are. They definitely don't have the merit. Oh, America's a meritocracy again, Traitor Trump says. Is it? It's a meritocracy. No, it's a mediocrity for straight white men, for sexual predators, for people who wouldn't be anywhere without their privilege. Right, Junior? He knows. Yeah, that's what Trump said. Wait. All right, you're so annoying sometimes. Okay. Oh, I thought I had this one. Oh, yeah, here it is. He was at the World Economic Forum.
My administration has taken action to abolish.
That's so loud. Why is that so loud? To abolish. And these poor suckers that had to listen to him.
All discriminatory, diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. And these are policies that were absolute nonsense throughout the government and the private sector.
You're such a dumb bastard.
Somewhat unexpected great Supreme Court decision just made, America will once again become a merit-based country.
Yeah, merits. You get a lot of merits if you're a straight white man. You don't have to be you don't have to be remotely qualified. You just got to be a lick spittle. And that, whatever that was, when he spoke at the World Economic Forum, it was a universal pan by anybody who was there. And all of the tweets going out as he was speaking were every lie. That they were just sitting there. Not a single thing he said was true. He claimed that, he falsely claimed that there was a 200 to 250 billion trade deficit with Canada. The actual deficit is 4.6 billion. Junior, he just moved all my shit with a flick of a paw. He incorrectly stated that the EU doesn't accept U.S. farm products or cars. In reality, the EU is the fourth largest market for U.S. agricultural exports and the second largest destination for U.S. vehicle exports. He said that he mischaracterized the trade deficit with China, implying it was 1.1 trillion, but in reality is 252 billion. Now, what the fuck? He's reading this shit off of a teleprompter. Why is he just... Are they putting in the wrong numbers for this baboon? Or is he simply inflating them as he's reading it? I'd like to know. Trump promised lower taxes for companies that bring manufacturing to the U.S. while threatening tariffs on those who don't. This oversimplifies complex trade relationships and economic factors. And some of the tweets coming from the people who actually know what the fuck they're doing were saying things like, Trump still doesn't know what a tariff is or how it works. He also made exaggerated statements about energy needs and the needs for AI development, suggesting that the U.S. or suggesting a need to double U.S. energy capacity and proposing emergency declarations for rapid power plant construction when, we are already exporting more oil than any other export nation like Saudi Arabia and Russia. It's just, he's just a piece of dirt. He's a big fucking baboon who shouldn't be anywhere near power. And okay, so let's continue. Here's something that it's all tying in. So I'm sure you heard that one of the things that Trump always goes on about, and the Republicans, and this, I want everybody to recognize this, okay? It's all an assault on democracy. When the Republicans, as you know, they, for years, everything is states' rights, states' rights. And those who had a clue understand that what they're talking about is the right to discriminate, the right to treat people, like shit, the right to whatever, But when they get in trouble, like when a natural disaster comes, that's when they want daddy to come and save them, of course, right? Our blue state dollars with the federal government. But the Republicans, and Trump has taken this to another level, like with abortion. Oh, it's back to the states, back to the states. Everybody wanted it back to the states. This is all, of course, a lie, but also it's an example of them. It's really part of Project 2025 of Republicans weakening the federal government, like Grover Norquist said, or was that Grover Norquist years ago? I think it was somebody else. Now, somebody on the chat will remind me. But talking about how they wanted to shrink government to the size of where they could drown it in a bath. Why can't I talk? Where they could drown it in a bathtub. Shrink government to the size they can drown it in a bathtub. This is part of... Okay, Stephanie says it was Grover. See? Sometimes there's so many of these monsters. I wish I never heard of any of them, but they're all like in there, in my brain. Ugh. I wish they would get the fuck out, right? Wouldn't that be a peaceful, wonderful life? Sometimes I think about my cats. I see Boudica, and she's so happy, and she's rolling around, and she's just a happy little baby girl running around, being a beautiful little kitten. Now she's grown up, but you know what I'm talking about. And I think, what a blissful life you must have in that little brain. You never heard of Trump. You never heard of any of these monsters. You just think, when's food coming? And scratch my back, and, I'm going to take a nap now. But you never heard that baboon's voice. You didn't turn on the TV every morning, and within 2 seconds, Trump said, Trump did, Trump, he's embarrassed us again. But no, they won't even say that he's embarrassed us. Do you think it was reported on the corporate media, all of the lies, all of Trump's lies at Davos, the litany of fucking lies? I mean, why the fuck are we there? People should have just gotten up and walked out. It's why? That's what should happen. Let me see, Davos. Yeah. Why did people sit there and endure it? He makes false claims, fact-checking claims, blah, blah, blah. Trump tells Davos, let's see, blathering in Davos. That's from Raw Story. Trump mocked for lies and moronic claims in a big economic speech. Yeah, okay, yeah. Big economic speech, right? He should just fillet the microphone. He doesn't know anything about economics. Did those people at Davos know that he bankrupted a casino? Did they know that? What is he doing giving them a speech about economics? He don't know fucking economics from his asshole. He should stick to what he knows. Like, he should do this. Fillet the microphone. Don't give us a speech about economics. Just get up there and suck off the microphone. You know that. You know all about that. But, no. That's what I'm talking about. I think we're all in some kind of mass hysteria here as a country and a world. Because the fact that all of those people sitting in the Davos audience listening to this baboon, the fact that they didn't walk the fuck out says, how sick are we? That's what needs to happen. There needs to be a collective public shaming and shunning. Hopefully we'll get there quick enough. But what a disgrace. What an absolute disgrace. And you think his approval rating is bad now. Wait till Pete Hegseth gets a hold of it. Give him time. Give him time. So, all right, where is this fucking shit? Oh, all right. I'm trying to find this crypto thing. That's why I'm, I don't know what I did with it. Because Trump, crypto, I guess I'll just look it up again. Because really the point is, what I'm talking about is, you know, when he's saying states' right, it was back to the states. And another thing he said about about FEMA. Oh, yeah, the states should take care of themselves. You know, like all these natural disasters. The states should take care. Here it is.
Carolina gets hit, the governor takes care of it. When Florida gets hit, the governor takes care of it, meaning the state takes care of it. To have a group of people come in from an area that don't even know where they're going in order to solve immediately GPS. A problem is something that never worked for me. But this is probably one of the best examples of it not working.
Incredible.
And there's been some others, like in Louisiana, etc. So we're going to be doing something on FEMA that I think most people agree. I'd like to see the states take care of disasters. Let the state take care of the tornadoes and the hurricanes and all of the other things that happen. And I think you're going to find it a lot less expensive. You'll do it for less than half.
You're such
and you're going to get a lot quicker response.
No, you won't. People don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're doing. They never found their way. They don't know. They don't got any GPS. They don't got a map. Hey, which way? You know how men are. Hey, they don't want to ask directions. It's fucking maddening. But you know what it's about? This is another part of Project 2025, dismantling the federal government. And dismantling the federal government is the way. It's not going to work out better for the states, especially these goddamn red states where they're living in ramshackle shacks. And we were reading the story last week of a Trump voting town where they're trying to get money from Joe Biden's infrastructure bill. And, of course, Traitor Trump is putting an end to it. So they can all drown in their bedrooms like that guy. Who had the sign outside. Fuck Joe Biden and fuck you for voting for him while he's trying to get Joe Biden the money to fix the roof of his house hit by a hurricane. When it rains, it's my bedroom fills up with water. Gets awfully wet in my bedroom. Good luck, honey. Good luck. And him talking about there's many levels to this sinister plot that Traitor Trump is introducing in the first fucking week of his maladministration. The one aspect of it is that he's a lazy bastard. Just like when he pardoned all of the traitors who stormed the Capitol, you know, not just the ones who defecated and urinated in the halls, but the ones who beat cops, who bit their fingers off, broke their ribs, gouged their eyes out. And even though he said, oh, we'll just pardon the ones who took a shit in the halls. But no, he did the whole thing because he's a lazy bastard who doesn't want to work. And that is an emblematic, or whatever that is, indicative, or an illustration, I should say, of what this whole scam is about. You see, the masters of the universe who own him and are now actively dismantling the government that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us, they don't want to work either. They don't want it. They don't want to have to abide by pesky regulations that tell them that they got to pay people a living wage, that they got to pay a fair share of the profits that the working class's labor makes possible in the first place. They don't want that. They want to, or regulations that tell them they can't dump their poisonous corporate waste in our environment, or drill in pristine, natural habitats that maybe we'd like to leave to the future. to enjoy. But okay, no. They want to rape the earth. They want to blow the tops off the Purple Mountain's majesty. They want to frack the fruited plains. They want to, turn America the Beautiful into a streetwalker for Elon Musk and Traitor Trump and everyone else who can suck profit from her and the people who live on her, I mean, because this is about tearing down all of the protections of the federal government, all of our the general welfare, the democracy that we have come to expect and rely on as our birthright. And that's what he's talking about. Because it's a twofer for him. He gets to be a lazy fuck who doesn't do shit. When a disaster strikes, no one's going to wake his fat ass up at 2 a.m. and say, there's a hurricane hitting Mitch McConnell's shitty, poorly run district. They're going to say, let the baby sleep. He's a cranky little baby. He was up all night. He had too many Diet Cokes, and, he's got to pee every fucking 20 minutes because he's 80 years old. So let the baby sleep because he's a cranky little bitch. But no, they'll let him sleep, and, oh well, it's up to the states, just like what happened during COVID. That's why part of the reason 1 million Americans went to their cold early graves, because he was like, states should just, look to yourselves, find your own PPE, find your own, compete with each other, do that whole Ayn Rand libertarian shtick, compete for, what do you call it, ventilators and whatnot, while our frontline workers are wearing garbage bags and washing out their N95 masks. He's sending the equipment, our equipment to Putin on the down low. But that's what the reason he did that was because he doesn't know what the fuck to do. What the fuck does he know about government and serving the populace and doing his job, being a chief executive? He don't know fucking shit. He wants to sit there in an arena with a bunch of baboons babbling at, or the flying monkeys, and he wants to sign executive orders and say, oh, this one means, the sun comes up in the west and rises in the west and sets in the east. And the baboons all applaud. And this one means that peepees, only the peepees that are appropriately dressed shall have entry to this facility. And this means that, gay people don't exist. And this means trans people. It's just like all this fucking show bullshit. This means that, we hate brown people. And they all applaud. This means, here's an executive order that says we must look into the standard of living. And they all fucking applaud. That's what he thinks governing is. Meanwhile, for somebody who says he doesn't like Project 2025, never heard of it. Oh, what the fuck do I know? This is Project 2025. And so we got this. Now, FEMA, look to your own. Let's dismantle FEMA. Good luck. I mean, this is a fucking shit show. Okay. 2 years. Hopefully we can get, a Democratic Congress. It's just incredible. But it's not just FEMA. It's everything. Everything will go back to the states. And I have to ask, well, why the fuck have a United States then? We tried it this way before. And of course, why would the baboon know this? Because he's a fucking ignorant baboon. And it was called the I can't talk. It was called the Articles of Confederation. And it didn't work. That's why we had to revamp that and have a strong federal government. We had to have a constitution, because you can't have all of these little bratty states running around and with all their different fiefdoms. Because what the fuck do I get out of having Tennessee as I got to support Tennessee? I never signed up for this shit. So we might as well break this shit up. And that's what it's about. breaking up the country, weakening the federal government, weakening the American everything that's great about America, everything that's strong about America, weakening it so billionaires can steal it. And our authoritarian enemies all over the world are right along with this plan. They are quite pleased with the plan because it is about dismantling a country that was the beacon of democracy in the world, in all our hypocrisies. That, yes, for sure. But at least, when this country, we were at least a standard bearer for democracy. At least, and many times in name only, but we were a beacon of freedom. We had standards. What really breaks my heart when I think about the country that the governing bodies of World War II, for example, and FDR's government, and I think about where we've come to, where these maggots have brought us. Like, for example, and where the Republicans have brought us. Like during when they turned us into a torture nation, right? And I remember reading articles about the interrogators who interrogated the Germans, our German prisoners in World War II, saying, this is outrageous. We got more actionable intelligence from playing chess with our prisoners than we ever did by beating them. We would never beat them. And that's why, and then I remember pointing out that even George Washington, back when we were fighting for our constitutionally limited democratic republic, gave orders to treat prisoners with respect because we were fighting for not just, we were fighting for the moral high ground as well as for self-governance. We were there was more to consider here. It's sort of like how what breaks my heart when I think about George Washington and being called. We talked about this on the show with Robyn the other day. The American Cincinnatus who who gave up power and went back to his farm, right? And then we have this baboon who couldn't give up power and did everything in his low cunning to get it back because he wanted to escape the consequences of his life of crime. And in doing that, he's destroyed the American experiment. And George Washington really is the founder of this nation, and we've talked about it before, about the Newburgh conspiracy, how he, hearing about this conspiracy by his officers to march on Washington and take over the government and demand to be paid. And George Washington disrupted that conspiracy, not through violence, but through imploring with them to remember their oath that what we were fighting for was not just a puny little paycheck. It was for freedom and democracy and something that would hopefully last through the ages, something that hadn't been seen for thousands of years. It's so absolutely infuriating. And now, so another example of Trump destroying this, this country is this cryptocurrency scam that they're all engaged in. His initiatives, I'm sure you've seen it, his Trump cryptocurrency. It's not just a grift. Let's see. Hold on a second. I lost my articles just closed. Wait a minute. Why does that always happen? It's okay. It's on the other side of the progressive voices, so it's a little bit more. We can have a mistake here and there. Let's see. Trump Here it is. Where is everybody? Where am I? What's happening? Where the fuck is it? All right. So Trump has this cryptocurrency, and it is a way. It's not just a way, actually, I should say. Is not just a way to grift. It's one of his good ways. I mean, he's never met a grift he hasn't bought into, like a multi-level marketing vitamin scam, his fake university. But this crypto grift, as soon as he heard about it, because he used to be against crypto, he called it like voodoo or whatever, because he doesn't understand it. I don't really understand crypto, whatever. But Trump, somebody explained to him, hey, honey, you could make a lot of money milking your dupes. And he was like, sign me up, booby. So, because he doesn't give a shit. He'll leave every one of them high and dry, just like he left them in the cold, during the inauguration. Oh, it was 22 degrees. Poor baby. What a baby. Yeah, it was 7 degrees when Reagan took the oath. It's been 22 degrees during other inaugurations, but the baby didn't want to be cold. But also, he didn't want to be embarrassed by his poorly attended inauguration. That's what it was about. He probably got word that the hotels were only filled at 70% capacity. And he was like, it's too cold. It's too cold. Which goes to show you, he don't give a shit about people, even if they were at 90 degrees capacity, or whatever, 90% capacity. Any excuse to not inconvenience himself. He doesn't want to be cold. He's a little baby bitch. He didn't want to get his hair wet. Just go and honor the losers and suckers who lost their lives fighting a fascist like him. Fighting his pal. Why should I go out there and get my hair wet? But he is using this crypto. It's very much a grift, of course, on many levels. It's a means for Traitor Trump to receive bribes that nobody can trace. Right? He'll get the regular old dumbasses to give him money, and nobody will be able to trace it. And then he can have his foreign, Russia. He can get the Russian oligarchs to give him money, and those bribes will easily be easily laundered. No one can ask questions. And then, of course, the other aspect of this assault on America is that it undermines the American dollar. What better way to rip this country apart than by undermining the U.S. dollar, deregulating the American finance industry, making it easier for the oligarchs to steal and to manipulate and to fuck shit up and to make more money that will never be traced, that's never regular, that never has to be pestered by questions. But it also weakens the entire American finance system. The currency of the world is the American dollar. And Traitor Trump is coming for that too. But whether he's a useless idiot or not, or just a greedy fuck that doesn't give a shit that it would throw his own mother over a cliff for $1, it's besides the point. The end will remain the same, that the United States will come out of this period weaker, isolated, divided. And I guess we need it. we need to get our asses kicked, I suppose. Shame on you for voting for him. If you voted for him, shame on you. But we will win. Because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. Become a patron. Yeah, why not? Patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Yeah. I mean, am I missing something here? Am I wrong about this? No. If I'm wrong, let me know. You know me. Let's see. Hold on. Trump. Oh, God. I was so looking forward to never having to fucking say that name again. Right? Weren't you? I was really convinced that Harris was going to win. She almost did if the 20 million Democrats didn't sit on their asses. Let's see. Crypto. One last thing. Oh, I hate them all. All these billionaires. And this is what Elon Musk is about, too. You know, he doesn't give a shit about America. You fucking kidding me? He hates this country. He's confused by it. It's too woke. That's why he's a Nazi. He's too small for America. And that's the other thing about these maggots. You see, the whole promise of America, what the country was founded on, regardless, the founders, yes, when they said all men are created equal, they meant all men. Women were nothing. Women were property. They were part of the, you know, they were the things owned by the men. Right, along with the chickens and the cattle, and you got your wife there, right, in the inventory. And, you know, and all of that hypocrisy, I mean, you had to be a pretty big hypocrite to write all men are created equal while owning other human beings. But at that time, all men meant all white men, right? All white men, all propertied men. And yeah, they weren't true Democrats or, you know, small d Democrats. They didn't create a democracy. They created a democratic republic that had some stopgaps, some mechanisms put in place so true democracy wouldn't break out, like the Electoral College. So, you know, still, in spite of that, they were students of the liberal age of enlightenment. Thomas Jefferson, who, as Mike Johnson knows, was the primary author of the Declaration of Independence, even though he lies and puts fake prayer in his mouth that he never said. Another example of how he hates America. And, yeah, they were students of John Locke, Rousseau, the Enlightenment thinkers. And the closer we get to actualizing a more perfect union, you know, women having a say, not just white people having a say, not just white men. We're all in this together. It's inclusive. It's not just rich people. It's everyone has a chance at a decent life. Then the Republicans flip out. You know, him going after DEI, it's so fucking vile. And I keep saying, and I will keep saying, that what the Republicans are doing is they are trying to make the country as small as they are, as backwards as they are. Because America, the promises of this country It's just too big for them. It's just too woke for Republicans, and they can't have it that way. They can't handle it. Like Pete had said, without his privilege, where the fuck would he be? Where the fuck would this drunken asshole be without his privilege? Would a woman be able to behave like that? Absolutely not. In fact, Traitor Trump fired the female commandant of the Coast Guard shamefully. Well, I guess he'll replace her with a white man. That's one thing you could say about this Traitor Trump administration, just like the last one. It's all white men. But I have to really believe that if we can get through this, and it's going to suck, and there will be a lot of damage, and a lot of people are going to get hurt in the next 4 years. A lot of people are already hurt, and it's only a week. Not even. It's 5 fucking days. How many people have lost their jobs already? It's first they came for the DEI department. Then they came for the civil servants. Then they came from the Democrats, who were the non-loyalists. When are they coming for you, maggots? Trust me, they're coming for you. And if that don't wake people up, I don't know. Because I really do hope that by the time we get through with this monstrous fucking baboon show, because what I really can't even believe, even the first 5 days is like, how is this happening again? As much as I've been preparing myself, I almost have to pinch myself. That the American people, that my fellow Americans did this. That they did this to us. And it goes to show you, how much do you hate your country? To do that to somebody, to do that to the Capitol Police officers, to do that to every American who lost someone during the COVID pandemic, to everyone who's not white. How dare you? Who's not rich? Because it's not just DEI. DEI doesn't just mean put brown people in places. It doesn't, even though, whatever. I know Traitor Trump and the Republicans, they can't stand that because they're very underwhelming people, so they need their privilege. They don't want anybody to have, a seat at the table. That's what it's about. It's just about making room for everybody. And, but, shit, hold on. Fucking thing. It's beach balling. Fuck. But, God. But these goddamn... What the fuck? Now I'm losing my train of thought. Because of my damn computer. What was I saying? Somebody on the chat, let me know. Let's see. I'll roll it back. Am I still streaming? Just kidding. Is this happening? Where are we? Wait a second. Anyway, it's if we get through this time, and I hope we do, when people are gonna get hurt. But I hope that we learn the hard lessons. Like the hard lessons that Pete Hegseth's fucking privilege won't allow him to learn about being a drunk, hitting bottom. He hasn't been able to hit bottom because he's had so many enablers letting him skate by. His rich white male privilege has allowed him to continue his bad behaviors and his destructive behaviors. Because trust me, he's an active alcoholic. And you can't just stop drinking by snapping your fingers. And somebody who drinks like that is not a happy person. People who are happy don't destroy themselves with alcohol. They don't behave like that. They don't put their lives, make their lives unmanageable like that. They don't embarrass themselves. They know how to act in professional settings. They don't get up on the stage and dance with strippers or, get sexual assault allegations when you go out for a company party. This is all the things that happened with him. He can't control himself. And he got fired from the two organizations that he ran because of stealing funds. He mismanages everything. He mismanages his entire life. So he's not a well person. They're all sick. And I hope, if he would get help, I wish they would all fucking get help. All these Republicans. Just get help. Get help for your manias. Stop inflicting them on normal people. The world would be a much better place, and maybe then we can have a functioning democracy. But another example of what we're going through now, the Democrats have got to get up and fight and stop being doormats. They have to point out just how unfit these Republicans are. It's not about take back your party. America needs a strong Republican Party that's done so much good. They haven't done a damn thing for this country. They've dragged us back. So, no, we don't need this Republican Party. It needs to go the way of the Whigs. And by the time the 4 years are over, I really hope we're done. We're done with the racism, with the division, with the greed, with the selfishness. Just like Michael Fanone said, we're very sick, selfish people who don't give a shit about our neighbors. And that's goddamn appalling and disgraceful. But this is what Republicans have done to us. They can't have the country apart. They can't rip the country apart and give it to the oligarchs in nice, manageable chunks to devour if the country is unified. That's what it is. This is what it's about. So they go after everyone who's vulnerable and misunderstood. I know, right? Jim on the chat says, you think the Democrats can criticize their big donors? This is the problem right here. Hence the problem. Because Democrats are also swimming in this filthy pool of money. Money in politics is the root of all this evil. Everywhere. And money in politics and money. Period. Because it doesn't trickle down. It's not about all of us. It's not about making a more perfect union or promoting the general welfare. It's about smashing the working class into the more manageable working poor and making sure that they can do nothing about it. Making sure they stay that way so they don't have the power to change it. That's what it's about. That's why every time the Supreme Court, this bought and paid for, disgraceful, shameful Supreme Court gets a campaign finance case, they allow more money in the system. It's just so fucking appalling. And it has to stop. It has to stop. Now, I know that the progressives, for example, the Democrats, like the old guard, like the Nancy Pelosi. Like, Nancy Pelosi needs to just fuck off, retire. Congratulations of your life of service. I'm sure it's hard to let go of power. Stay in the background. You can mentor the upcoming Democrats, the younger generation from the background. But the reason she was in the leadership is because she was good at fundraising. And in my opinion, because money in politics is the root of all evil in this, if you're good at something that is the reason everything sucks, I don't know, maybe it's time to try a different tactic. And the progressive, as far as I know, I might be wrong now that I'm saying this. I have said this before. In order to be in the progressive caucus, I'm looking it up just to make sure. you have to not take any PAC money or something like that. Progressive caucus can't take. And that was something Bernie Sanders spearheaded. Let me see. In April 2018, the CPC PAC announced that it would no longer accept contributions from corporate PACs, becoming the first major congressional PAC to make such a pledge. This decision was part of a broader movement among progressive politicians to refuse corporate PAC money, which has been seen as a way to demonstrate commitment to campaign finance reform. Yeah. But the CPC PAC still accepts contributions from other types of PACs, just not corporate PACs. Well, I mean, that makes sense in a way. So, like the Animals PAC or the, the blue, whatever that is, the progressive something PAC, but not from corporations. And yeah, no corporate PAC pledge has become increasingly common among Democratic candidates. 185 candidates taking the pledge in 2018. Now it's 2025. So yeah, that's what I thought. So that is true. But you gotta play on the field, and that's why Bernie doesn't take any corporate PAC money. And yeah, it's right. Campaign finance. Stephanie on the chat says campaign finance reform doesn't work if only one party does it. Exactly. So Republicans are shameless. And they stand there. I mean, they remember when John Boehner was handing out checks on the floor of the House. He was handing out checks from the tobacco lobby straight on the floor of the House, and then he apologized for it. That at the time, that was kind of a scandal. And then he was asked about it on the media, and what would happen today? Nothing. They wouldn't even ask him about it. They'd do a poll, probably, about how old Joe Biden it still is. But not Trump. But you think, in all that speech, that whatever that series of words that came out of the lie hole of the con man's mouth at Davos, every sentence was a lie. You think the corporate media would report that? No. They just reported that he spoke at Davos. They didn't report what he said. Did they say he lied in another stunning display of shamelessness? The audience at Davos was absolutely appalled, having to sit there listening to this waste of human DNA lie so shamelessly. It's unbelievable. I mean, let's not get used to this. Let's not think this is normal. I know that they've tried to normalize it. It has been. It's almost, but it's mind-numbing. The lies. No wonder this country's fucking cuckoo. He's made us this way. But I keep saying too, like we're the many. Man-child Musk, Zuckerberg, all these scumbags, they are the few. How much longer? How much longer are we going to take it? But what was that robber baron? Back in the first Gilded Age. His sinister words. Which one was that? Was it Vanderbilt? Who said that? Maybe I'm just looking it up. He said, I could pay one half of the working class to kill the other half. Yeah. Oh, it was Jay Gould. I can hire one half of the working class to fight the other half. If that's even the right... I know, I can kill. Somebody was trying to sane wash it a little. I can hire one half of the working class to kill the other half. Yep. It was published first in a Topeka, Kansas newspaper. I could hire one half of the farmers to shoot the other half to death. Motherfucker. Mother effing bastards. You see what we're up against? Okay, listen, it's late. Let's do one last thing. I don't want to go on about it, but we should point it out. Look, I'm like, I don't want to go on about it. I just wanted to, because, by the time Monday or whenever or next week comes, it's God knows how many other monstrosities will occur. Monstrosities. Just, a little, just a little, I don't know, pointing out. In Lauren banned from the bowling alley, Boebert news, maybe you saw, she had a meltdown today. This monster, this dirtbag. Wait, is this fucking thing still streaming? We're still streaming, right? Oh, yeah, I heard myself. Okay. Well, Lauren Boebert, who is a dumb bitch and a whore, too. No offense to sex workers. And also a horrible person who says things like, don't you know who I am? And whose kids are just a bunch of brats who rob their fellow citizens in Colorado and terrorize the town because their mother is such a wreck, I guess, and their father's a drunk, and they don't have the strength to get help. That's like 90% of conservatives. Well, she went nuts today. She went to the bathroom. She attempted to get a guy kicked out of the women's restroom in the Capitol off of the House floor today. The only problem is it wasn't a man at all. And it was a case of mistaken identity. Isn't she a piece of shit, Lauren Boebert? You see, she thought that it was Representative Sarah McBride that was trying to go to the yard to do some pee-pee in the proper receptacle, not in the halls where the rioters, where maggots like to urinate and defecate in the halls of the Capitol. Yes, but Sarah McBride, or this person who Lauren banned from the bowling alley, thought was Sarah McBride, was just trying to do a pee-pee in the proper place because she's a grown-ass woman and was raised right, not like Trumpanzees. And little Miss bitch Boebert, little as what's her face, as perjury traitor Green called her, the little bitch, because that's what Republicans have brought to the House and into government. Name calling, screaming, running through the halls, screaming matches in the halls, screaming matches in the bathroom, expletives on the floor of the House. You're a little bitch because you copied my bill. That's what perjury traitor Green said to Lauren banned from the bowling alley Boebert. Isn't that amazing? You're a little bitch. You copied my bill. Where the fuck are we living? That's what I'm talking about. These people, they're not capable of functioning in a free democratic society. They lack the fundamental maturity. This is not high school. They don't know that. They act like little schoolyard bullies, and then they scream at each other on the floor of the House. You copied my bill, you little bitch. We don't deserve a decent country, right? With shit like this. Actually, I take that back. We deserve a decent country. They don't. They don't. And shame on everybody that voted for them. Because we all deserve better than that. And I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of this tyrannical minority fucking shit up. Just fucking us up. Setting us up for failure. Because they're small and petty and greed-centered and selfish. And they can only think of themselves. And they suck, you know? They should just get help. Get help. So she went out, this little bitch who copied Perjury Traitor Games' bill thought that Sarah McBride was trying to do a PP. Sarah McBride, for those who don't know, she's the first transgender member of Congress, was banned from the ladies' room. I guess like Lauren Boebert was banned from the bowling alley because she's a fucking baboon who doesn't know how to behave. And she doesn't. She was kicked out of the Beetlejuice show. She was also kicked out of some other bar with her and her husband were fighting. I mean, they're just fucking unmanageable messes. And they want to rule us. And as we know, Representative Mike Johnson, who's a closet case, I pretty much bet my life on it, made it so that Sarah McBride couldn't do PPs in the ladies' room. She has to go, I guess, to somebody else's bathroom or down the hall or wherever. She can't defecate and urinate in the halls like maggots do, because that's a privilege only extended to maggots. If you're a maggot and you pee and poo-poo in the halls of the Capitol, they will give you a pardon. So, McBride is not allowed to use the women's room because of closet case Mike Johnson ban on transgender people using single-sex bathrooms. So Boebert, the fucking bitch, doesn't have anything better to do, and she thought that Sarah McBride was going to the pee-pee, doing a pee-pee in the stall or wherever. I guess she was under the stall, looking at the stall. She wanted to see her genitals or something. I don't know. What the fuck business is it of hers? And that's what I'm talking about. Even when I was talking to those idiots on the Nextdoor app. Mind your own business, for F's sakes. Leave people alone. Didn't you learn that in kindergarten? No. And she ran out. She told, according to an unnamed GOP lawmaker who requested anonymity in order to speak freely about the bathroom scene, she told other members on the House floor that when she saw McBride walk into the ladies' room, she yelled, "You shouldn't be here!" You bitch. What a fucking horrible human being. What a terrible person. You see, she doesn't deserve a decent country, Lauren Boebert. She doesn't deserve it. It's this country, the promises of America, the e pluribus unum, the general welfare, the nation of immigrants, the constitutionally limited democratic republic, nation of laws. That's too big for her. She's got to make it small. Just like her. Exactly, Stephanie on the chat. Boebert shouldn't be there. She shouldn't be there. She doesn't have a fucking degree. She passed her GED after 4 times. What an idiot. Who voted for her? I mean, the idiots that sent her back. She had to move districts because she won the seat by about, what was it, 100 votes or something last time? And she knew she was going to get trounced because I guess not all of her former district, were as far gone as the rest of the maggots. So she moved to Maggotville, and they'll vote for a literal parasite as long as it hates the same people they do. They'll vote for their own. They'll vote for the fucking Crypt Keeper. They'll vote for their own doom. They'll vote for their own goddamn, the Grim Reaper coming to get them. They'll vote for it. As long as you hate the same people I do? Yes. Ding, 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 ding. That's for me. And she screamed, "You shouldn't be here!" But of course, this is from the Daily Beast. It says who wrote this? Who wrote it? Julie Gress Brufke. That's an interesting name. Julie Grace, not Gress. Julie Grace. That's a pretty name. Julie Grace Brufke wrote, the scandal-prone Boebert, known for her PDA and vaping at the Beetlejuice show. And remember that? How when she was vaping, and then she was like, there was a pregnant woman in front of her, and the pregnant woman said, "Can you please not vape? It is not allowed in here anyway, but I'm pregnant." And she said, "Oh, you're a miserable person." That's what she said to the pregnant lady, because they're very wonderful people, these Republicans. "You're a miserable." And because she was with her date, and this person that she was with, even though she wasn't divorced yet, but she said she was on a first date, because then everybody knew that she's full of shit. She wasn't on a first date. And if she was, it was probably worse, because she was basically giving the guy a hand job in the seat. And that's what you do on a first date? A grown-ass woman with 2 kids at home, a member of Congress, you go in public and you hand job somebody that you just went on a first date with? And not even, that's kind of like a whorish way to behave in public, especially. I don't know. Don't you have any dignity? Could you imagine? Imagine if that was AOC. Okay? AOC has a boyfriend or fiance or whatever. They've been together a long time. Imagine there was a video of AOC at a theater giving this guy a hand job. What do you think the maggots would do? Right? What do you think the Fox News would do with that? The Christian Republicans. Oh, yeah, but they voted for her. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Because she hates trans people like they do. She hates the same people and loves the same convicted felons. Is just as small and tiny and racist. Hates America just like they do. Is confused by America. They love the stars, the eagles. They love the dick moves like, America, love it or leave it. When they couldn't explain America. They fucking hate America. They should leave it. They should fuck off to the woods. Leave it. Leave us alone. Leave the normal people alone who can function in a democratic society. They hate America. They hate America so much, the Speaker of the House read this fake goddamn Thomas Jefferson prayer into the congressional record, a completely made up thing that he never said. And he said it was from Thomas Jefferson. It's completely made up. That's how much they hate America, because the real things that Thomas Jefferson said are the antithesis of who these people are. So you can't love America and hate everything about it. You got to make shit up. And it doesn't matter how many times the Monticello Society says, would you stop repeating that fake-ass prayer? The keepers of Thomas Jefferson's letters and legacy tell him, what are you doing, asshole? You keep repeating this same-ass, fake-ass prayer. You did it twice. That day alone. Will you stop it? And no, he won't stop it. Because he hates America. He hates America and everybody in it, just about. But because he hates himself. Like I said, America is just too big for tiny people like them. And so a Bloomberg reporter witnessed Boebert exit the bathroom and seek security. to intervene. You shouldn't be here. Boom, boom, boom. And then she storms out. Security! Sergeant at Arms! And this reporter wrote on Twitter that the Nazi calls X, because he's such a genius. He's such a genius, he's a Nazi. First of all, no geniuses are Nazis. Nazis are not geniuses. They're dumbasses. That is a hands down statement. That is a fact. If you're a Nazi, you're not a genius. Low IQ and racism go hand in hand. That's science. So, no, Musk, you're not a genius. And you're very boring. You're tedious. You're stupid. You're evil. You're a supervillain. And you need to be stopped legally and peacefully. And, naming everything X is not clever. It's boring as fuck. Like you. It's not cute. It's not clever. X. This is X. This is SpaceX. This is the X car. This is the X hole. This is the X tunnel. This is the X my child. This is the X fucking social media. Shut the fuck up. Why don't you X yourself out? Take some ketamine. Take some more ketamine. X. So this reporter, right, his name is Billy House. I bear witness. I guess I can show it. Oh, that's not it. It's a little small. I bear witness. Rep. Lauren Boebert bursting out of the House women's restroom during this afternoon's vote series, complaining to security personnel in the nearby speaker's lobby of a guy inside the bathroom. Isn't she a horrible person? She thought she was talking about Sarah McBride, who was just trying to pee. Help! There's a guy in there, you dumb bitch. It's not a guy, it's a woman that you thought was Sarah McBride, and you're so horrible, aren't you? Intrigued, I stuck around to see who would emerge from the bathroom and just saw 4 other people leave, all women. Within minutes, however, Boebert was storming back from the House floor into the restroom, reinforced by Nancy Mace. Can you believe that? They were both going like 2 little see you next Tuesdays in high school to go beat up the trans girl in the bathroom. I bet you they're really good Christians, right? They were like, Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we're going to beat you the fuck up. So Billy House says, who would dare leave this scene now? Not me. Mace is the author of the resolution prohibiting transgender women in the chamber from using the women's restroom. But alas, just seconds after this duo entered the bathroom, they came back out and went back quietly to the floor. A bit of bathroom vigilantism? I later asked Boebert what that was all about, noting I had heard her complain. There was a guy in there. To her credit, she acknowledged it was a mistake. To her credit? No, to her shame, Billy. She gets no credit for being a Nazi, for being a little Nazi bitch who grabs her friend. Nancy, I need somebody to come. Like 2 bullies going to the bathroom to beat somebody up. To her credit, there was a rumor but you see her? There was a rumor but it wasn't true. I made up a rumor, more like it. Because I'm a small little baby and everything I stand for is bullshit and hate. And this country is too big for me. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, she should have said. If she had any kind of self reflection, she could be true to herself for 1 minute. Aren't they horrible? To her credit, she acknowledged it was a mistake. You know, it was a mistake for anybody to vote for her. Yeah. It was a mistake for anybody to vote for Nancy Mace. But aren't they two monsters? Bullies? There was a guy in there. Get a life, you monsters. Aren't they monsters? I can't take it. Unbelievable. There was a... What did she say again? Wait a minute. Oh, don't tell me I closed it. Oh, no, here it is. There was a rumor. There was. What happened? I heard her... I thought there was a guy in there. She acknowledged it was a mistake, to her credit. You're too... This is what I'm talking about. We don't give them credit. You don't give a Nazi credit for acknowledging that she didn't get a chance to kick somebody's ass, to kick down on a targeted minority, just trying to pee in the proper receptacle. What a fucking asshole. There's a guy in there. I really wish that woman that she thought was Sarah McBride was still in there. There was a rumor. You know where the rumor came from? Her fucking head. She created the rumor. There was a rumor. Talk about a passive voice. Yeah, you had nothing to do with it, right, Boebert? There was a rumor. It was like when she was drunk. She went to some event, apparently, and she got drunk, like the rest of them, because they can't control themselves. And they asked her about it. I heard, whatever. You had a little too much to drink at the congressional circle jerk. And she said, I was overserved. She's like Pete Hegseth. I was overserved. You know, you didn't have any choice in the matter, right? The party of personal responsibility. They can't take responsibility for themselves. I was overserved. And when somebody puts an alcoholic beverage in front of me, I just drink it without question. I was overserved. It's never their fault. Right? It's never their fault. They just vote for it. Not me. Never me. No, the sting of the lash of authoritarianism will never reach me. I was overserved. Yep. Anyway, what a shit show. It's just 5 days. How many more days left? I'm looking this up. How many? Even though that asshole is trying to make it so Trump can run again, because he will only be 80 what? 84 or 86? I thought Biden was too old. Well, different rules. How many more days left in the Trump maladministration? Holy shit. 1,457 days left. I gotta get one of these countdown clocks on my phone. There must be one. Somebody must have created it by now. Because that's how I'm gonna have to take it. One day at a time. One day at a time. Yeah. All right, guys. Yes, Fetterman is the new cinema. You notice how since Fetterman began being kind of a maggot, we don't hear anything about what a disgrace it is that he wears a sweatsuit. He looks like some teenager. He was at the inauguration. I don't get it. Why can't you wear fucking pants? He was in shorts and a sweatshirt. But okay, I don't know. At Trump's inauguration, whatever. But they don't say anything about it now because, no, he's not a maggot. He's not a full-on maggot yet. But there are concerns about him. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I can't take it. I just went on Leopards Eating My Face on Reddit. Look at this post. Ramaswamy wrote, racism didn't really exist in ancient Rome. Well, he went to Rome and now he thinks he's a scholar? No, it didn't exist. Emperors were white, black, Arab, didn't matter. The color of your skin was like the color of your eyes. Citizenship is the distinction they drew. It wasn't just about what you got in return. It was about your duty to your nation. Oh, my God. What this guy doesn't know. He doesn't know. But it's... What are you talking about? It's not, a racism. But there was clear hierarchy of social status, and it was not in any way, shape, or form a meritocracy. Emperors were white, black, Arab, didn't matter. What the because somebody told him, it's didn't matter. Aren't these, it's, oh my God. And this is what I'm talking about, meme university. They all went to meme university for a day. That's the only distinction. It was service, duty to your nation. Really? There was no self-dealing involved. There was no slavery. There was no... Oh, because slavery wasn't race-based. That means there was no racism. I hardly and highly doubt it. But anyway, that's another thing that the maggots say about, the Nazi salute. That's the other thing they keep saying. It's a Roman salute. Well, guess what? That's where the Nazis got their salute from. Okay. Okay, and that's where they got a lot of their iconography from as well, like the eagles and stuff. All right, I can't take it. I gotta get unconscious quick. I gotta get unconscious. There are no Republicans in my dreams. There really are. They're in my nightmares, but not in my dreams. So, God help us all. We will win. We will win. We will. One of these days, we gotta win. Ay, ay, ay. Oh yeah, this is this is like the corporate. I know. I'll never get off this stream. It seems. It just came up. I just saw this. Made me laugh. I'm a Nazi. Well, that doesn't mean he's a Nazi. Does it? True. True that. Oh, Republicans. Asking another Nazi if he looks like a Nazi is kind of... This is the time we're in. So, okay, guys, listen. You know what? We will win. We will. One of these days. Because we're on the right side of history. And I want to thank, actually, is very sorry, Jim and Ed, for not mentioning your super chats until now. So thank you so much for super chatting. And Ed says, it's been a long week. Oh, it's only going to get worse. So thank you, patrons. Patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Please become a patron if you can. Keep the show going and growing. Hang out with us on Friday nights. We will win. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News. Hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday with Robyn. And I have to apologize. I didn't do a show. I was thinking about it, right? We did the show on Monday. And then I you know what? I was so thrown off this week. It was Wednesday, and then it was like 8 o'clock, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Wednesday. And I totally forgot to I guess, well, I didn't hear from Robyn, because a lot of times she'll say, you doing a show tonight? And she didn't, so I was all thrown off. It's been one of those weeks, one day at a time. We will win. Become a patron. Patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Thank you so much for hanging out. Like and subscribe. Share the show with your friends. Ask them to come hang out with us. We have a great time on Friday nights. And we know that we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. That's right, Matt. With Trump, every week is like a year. And it is. But we will win. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight, guys. It means a lot. We stick together, we win. I will see you very soon.